At the beginning of the drama, we see the male lead, Jin-wook. Along with being handsome and good-looking, he is also very rich. And because of this reason, all the girls of Korea die for him. Now Jin-wook comes to a club to meet a friend of his. Right there on the other side, we see the drama's female lead, Yoo-mi. She is a simple girl and also a dietitian. She has also come to the club to enjoy with her friends. So her friends start dancing while drinking. Seeing them dancing, Yoo-mi says, "Come on, I will also dance." Then she unties her hair and does such a dance that everyone keeps looking at her. But all this happens in her imagination. In reality, she dances in such a way that everyone runs away from her. So after all this happens, when Yoo-mi goes to the washroom, then she sees Jin-wook is romancing with a girl. Now, seeing both of them romancing, Yoo-mi enjoys it a lot, but in a little while she becomes impatient because she has to go to the washroom. So she quickly pushes Jin-wook and runs away from here. So because of this, Jin-wook becomes very angry at Yoo-mi. Then we see the next morning's scene where Jin-wook's dad scolds him very, very much. Because last night when Jin-wook was romancing with that girl, then someone had taken their photos. And now these photos have gone viral. So being troubled by all this, his dad says, "You pack your luggage today and go to do training in my hotel." So on this, Jin-wook initially starts to refuse. But then he has to listen to his dad's words. On the other side, we see Yoo-mi, who is in her cooking class, but cooking is not done well by her at all. So her teacher scolds her very, very much. After the cooking class ends, Yoo-mi goes into her house where she gets an invitation letter. And this invitation letter is of no one else but her mom's. And seeing this letter, she becomes quite irritated. Then in the next scene, we see Jin-wook, who is very, very sad. Just then, his assistant points towards the bus and says, "It is time for you to go." So Jin-wook says, "Is it necessary for me to go in the bus? I can also go in my car, right?" But the assistant tells him, "Your dad has given me instructions. You will have to go only in the bus." And then somehow the assistant makes Jin-wook sit on the bus. Now Jin-wook does sit on the bus, but pointing at his assistant, he threatens him, "I will beat you." Just then, into that same bus, Yoo-mi also comes taking her luggage. And then, right after coming, she starts bothering Jin-wook. So Jin-wook says to Yoo-mi, "The seat next to me is empty. You can sit there." So Yoo-mi goes to sit on that seat, but by mistake, she sits on Jin-wook's lap. Because of this, Yoo-mi gets very scared and says to Jin-wook, "Sorry." So Jin-wook says, "Okay, fine, but will you keep sitting right here?" So Yoo-mi quickly gets up and sits on her seat. After this, finally, the bus reaches its stop. And along with it, all the people get down from the bus. But Jin-wook and Yoo-mi are still sleeping till now. Just then, Jin-wook's eyes open, and without waking Yoo-mi up, he gets down from the bus. And after coming outside, he is waiting for his assistant. Just then, in a little while, Yoo-mi also comes outside. Then, looking on the other side, she mistakenly runs her trolley bag over Jin-wook's foot, and she does not even realize this thing. Now on this matter, Jin-wook gets angry. Then he says, "Anyways, finally my life is getting freed from this stupid girl." Anyway, then after a little while, we see Jin-wook with his assistant. Here, his assistant tells him, "Wear the waiter's uniform." But Jin-wook picks up that waiter's uniform and throws it away. But then, in just a few moments, we are able to see Jin-wook in that waiter's uniform. Now Jin-wook does wear the waiter's uniform, but seeing his antics, no one will be able to say he is a waiter because he roams here and there all day and keeps giving orders to the rest of the waiters. But he himself does not do any work. Seeing these antics of his, the hotel manager comes to him and says, "If you keep doing like this, then I will complain to your dad." So on this matter, Jin-wook quickly gets to work. Then we see Yoo-mi once, who reaches that same hotel to attend her mom's wedding ceremony. Now seeing Yoo-mi in a black dress, her mom gets troubled and says, "Have you come to my wedding or to my funeral?" Then telling the maid, she tells her, "Get Yoo-mi's dress changed." After this, we see Yoo-mi in a very beautiful dress. In this dress, she is looking very, very pretty. And then after this, the wedding ceremony starts. But Yoo-mi's entire focus is only on the food. She repeatedly tells the waiter, "Bring the food." And from this matter, that waiter gets very much irritated and says to himself, "How much more will she eat?" On the other side, we see Jin-wook, who is listening to his assistant and a waiter talking. Now the assistant, giving Jin-wook's car keys to that waiter, says, "Keep this safely and do not give it to anyone." Now seeing his car keys, Jin-wook gets very much happy. But just then, that manager comes here and scolding Jin-wook very, very much says, "You are not doing any work." So on this, Jin-wook, quickly taking the wedding cake from the waiter's hand, says, "Look, I am working." After this, we see Yoo-mi, near whom two sitting ladies are talking about her mom. Both of them say, "I have heard she has been an erotic actress and has also worked in very many adult movies." So hearing such things about her mom, Yoo-mi remembers her high school matters, where all the students used to bully her because of this reason. So remembering all this, Yumi becomes very sad and gets up from here and leaves. After this, we see Jin-wook, who is taking the wedding cake, and just then, Yumi comes running towards him and bumping into the cake. She is just about to fall, but Jin-wook quickly catches her. Then both of these start looking at each other just like this for some time. But just then, the flying cake falls on Yumi, and because of this reason, her whole dress becomes dirty. So she quickly gets up and runs away from here. Now the manager sees all this and she tells Jin-wook, ask for an apology from Yumi. Now at first Jin-wook says no, but as soon as the manager reminds him, remember about your dad, then he immediately agrees. Now when Jin-wook is going to apologize to Yumi, just then he meets that waiter who has his car keys. So Jin-wook tells that waiter, give those car keys, but that waiter says no. So on this matter, Jin-wook threatens him, I will fire you. So that waiter quickly gives the car keys to Jin-wook. Now after this, Jin-wook reaches Yumi's room to say sorry to her. Then without even seeing Yumi's face, he says to her, I have come to say sorry to you. And then when he sees Yumi's face, he realizes, hey, this is that same girl whom I saw in the bus. She bothered me a lot. And then he comes close to Yumi and says, it seems you did not recognize me. Now seeing Jin-wook so close to herself, Yumi starts getting hiccups. Then Jin-wook says, by the way, I had come to say sorry to you, but I think sorry you should say to me. Now on this matter, a fight happens between these two. Then Jin-wook says, and I do not have so much free time that I keep debating with you. Saying this, he leaves from here. After Jin-wook leaves, Yumi gets very, very angry at him. She starts bad-mouthing Jin-wook. Now after coming out of the room, Jin-wook realizes, my car keys have been left in Yumi's room itself. So to take them, Jin-wook goes back into Yumi's room. Now over there we see Yumi, who is going into the washroom to take a bath holding a beer. Just then, her foot slips, and very badly she falls down. And then Jin-wook also comes outside her room. He is continuously ringing the doorbell, but no one is opening the door. So using the master key, he goes inside the room. And as soon as he goes into the washroom taking the keys, then he sees Yumi has fallen down, and near her, red wine is lying. Now seeing all this, Jin-wook does not understand anything clearly. So he quickly lifting Yumi, starts taking her to the hospital. But Yumi is completely fine. But because of embarrassment, she does not open her eyes. But then in a little while, Jin-wook finds out Yumi is completely fine. So on this matter, Jin-wook scolds Yumi a lot and says, today for the first time, because of you, I have been embarrassed. So hearing all this, Yumi becomes very, very sad. And then she starts crying. Now seeing Yumi crying, Jin-wook, controlling his anger, asks her, are you okay? But Yumi remains very upset. So Jin-wook, making her wear his coat, says, there is no need for you to stay depressed because of others. Then telling her, enjoy your life, he leaves from here. After this, the next morning, we see Jin-wook, who is going somewhere taking a flower bouquet. And on the other side, we see Yumi, who, accepting the life advice given by Jin-wook, is enjoying. And here Jin-wook, keeping that bouquet outside a small restaurant, leaves. Basically, that restaurant is his mother's, who does not live with Jin-wook now. Now, in just a little while after Jin-wook's leaving, his mom comes here, and seeing that flower bouquet, she understands Jin-wook had come here. Over there, we see Yumi, who is waiting for the bus. Just then, Jin-wook coming here offers her, take a lift. So Yumi refuses him and asks, is this car of some customer of yours, or have you brought it stealing from somewhere? Hearing this, Jin-wook is just about to tell her, this is the truth. But then he becomes quiet, and again he offers Yumi, let me give you a lift in my car, and then says, I do not think that any bus will come here right now. So as soon as she hears this, Yumi quickly sits in his car. After this, when both of them are on the way, just then, the fuel of Jin-wook's car finishes. So on this, he asks Yumi, give me some money. Then later, both of these go to the beachside and stay there for some time. Now here, Yumi finds a coin and she says, my day-to-day is very much lucky. Hearing this, Jin-wook tells her, you are stupid. Then both of these enjoy at the beachside for quite some time, and then slowly it becomes night. Then while drinking, Yumi says to Jin-wook, till today, no one has ever asked me if I am okay or not, but you are that first boy who has asked me this. So Jin-wook says, but you are not the first girl who has cried because of me. Because of me, very many girls have cried, but you are that first girl who has looked cute to me while crying. So as soon as she hears this, Yumi starts getting hiccups, and then both of these start kissing each other. And while kissing each other, both of these spend the whole night. Then the next morning, when Yumi sees Jin-wook with herself, she becomes very, very shocked and starts getting angry at herself only. And then, picking up all her clothes, she runs away from there. Then we are shown a scene of 3 years after this where Yumi's life is just like before. But Jin-wook has changed very much after spending the night with Yumi that night. Now he is the CEO of a very very big company, and he is very, very serious regarding his work and time. Anyway, then we see Jin-wook with his dad, who says to him, Jin-wook, you should get married now. So Jin-wook says, right now, there is very much pressure of work. For this reason, I cannot take a responsibility like marriage. And saying this, he goes into his meeting. After this, he gives very much work to all the workers to do. And on this matter, all the workers get angry at him. Over there, we see Yu-mi, who is telling her friends, from tomorrow, I am starting to do a job in a new company. So hearing this, her friends become very, very happy for her. After this, we see Yu-mi with her best friend Jung Hyeon. He says to Yu-mi, did you sleep right here again today? Come on, go into your room and sleep. So on this, Yu-mi, slapping him in sleep, says, I am fine right here. Then we are shown the next morning's scene where Yu-mi reaches her office. And right here we find out the company in which Yu-mi is going to do a job. That company is of no one else but of Jin-wook. But Yu-mi does not even know about this. So when Yu-mi reaches the office, then Jin-wook also comes there. But both of them do not notice each other. But in a little while, when Jin-wook is in the lift, then he sees Yu-mi in the lift in front. So seeing her, Jin-wook becomes very shocked and asks his assistant, did you see anyone in a black suit just now? So the assistant says, no, it seems your health is not fine. Then on that side, we see Yu-mi, who is giving her introduction in front of all the colleagues. Now, while listening to her introduction speech, all the colleagues start looking at her with surprise. Then an employee says to her, come, I will give you a tour of the whole office. Right here, we see Jin-wook, who is thinking about Yu-mi again and again. Then suddenly he falls unconscious right in the meeting room. So after this, he is taken to the hospital where the employees, telling him, take care of yourself, leave from there. Now then Jin-wook's assistant says to him, I will resign from my job tomorrow itself because of me. This condition of yours has happened. Then Jin-wook, stopping him, says, what do you want after all? So the assistant says, I just want this much, that you eat food 3 times in a day. So on this, Jin-wook has to say yes, in compulsion. Otherwise, maybe his assistant will resign. Now after this, the assistant going to Yu-mi tells her, make food for Jin-wook 3 times in a day. Now hearing this, Yu-mi gets surprised, but then she says yes later. Anyway, then in a little while, a call comes to Jin-wook from his school friend Hai-ri, who has been telling Jin-wook since long, Jin-wook, marry me. Now Jin-wook says to his assistant, if today again my meeting happens with her, then I will have to be hospitalized again. And saying this, both of them quickly hide. And here Hai-ri comes to find both of them. Now after this, Yu-mi starts making food for Jin-wook. Then when the assistant takes that food to Jin-wook, then Jin-wook says, such food is not even given to dogs. And then telling him, throw this food away, he leaves from here. Then the next day, the assistant again comes taking the food made by Yumi's hands for Jin-wook. Then right after the assistant leaves, Jin-wook, calling an employee, tells him, throw that food outside. And from afar, Yu-mi sees that employee is throwing this food. And because of this reason, Yu-mi becomes very sad. Anyway, after this, we again see Jin-wook with his dad, and his dad is again forcing him, get married. So Jin-wook, pointing towards his assistant, says to his dad, I already have a wife. After this, we see Yu-mi, who says to an employee of Jin-wook, you give this food to your boss. Just then, Jin-wook also comes there, and here he sees, well, this girl is Yu-mi only. And understanding this itself, he gets surprised. Now, after this, coming into his cabin, he starts looking at Yumi's resume and thinks, you have insulted me very, very much. And along with this, we are shown the scene of 3 years ago, where when Yu-mi and Jin-wook had spent the night, on its next morning, Yu-mi had left from Jin-wook's car. And when Jin-wook's eyes opened, then his half unbuttoned. And he noticed, some ladies are laughing looking at me from outside the car. And because of this reason, Jin-wook had felt very insulted. Now the scene comes into the current time, where the assistant gives Jin-wook's diet chart to Yu-mi and says, if you have to ask anything else apart from this, then you can ask Mr. Jin-wook directly. And then after this, Jin-wook starts bothering Yu-mi intentionally. He rejects every food made by her. After this, when Yu-mi looks at Jin-wook's profile, then she remembers the Jin-wook of 3 years ago. Now, because currently she is troubled due to her food getting rejected by Jin-wook, so now she takes out all her anger on the food. Anyway, then after this again, the assistant goes to Jin-wook taking the food made by Yu-mi. But again, Jin-wook refuses this food. So the assistant says, if you have any issue with this chef, then let us hire a new chef. So Jin-wook says, there is no need for this, and don't worry, I am taking my supplements. Now after this, Jin-wook, messaging Yu-mi from his profile, writes, the dish that you have made for me, I have an allergy from it. Yu-mi asks, but since when? Jin-wook says, from right now. So Yu-mi gets very angry at Jin-wook, and then she starts bad-mouthing Jin-wook a lot. But by mistake, these bad messages get sent to Jin-wook. So realizing this, Yu-mi comes running into Jin-wook's cabin. Then she starts saying sorry to Jin-wook. But then as soon as Jin-wook shows his face, then Yumi, being completely shocked, runs away from here. Actually, she did not know, the one for whom I was making food and from whose profile I was messaged, he is actually Jin-wook. Now later, Yumi is thinking, surely I must have had some misunderstanding. Jin-wook was a waiter, so how can he become a CEO now? Just then, Jin-wook comes here, seeing whom Yumi starts running. But just then, Jin-wook catches her hand and says to her, "You have not changed at all in so many years." Now in response to this, Yumi does not say anything. She pretends as if she does not even know Jin-wook. So Jin-wook, coming close to Yumi, says, "Do you really not know me?" Now seeing Jin-wook so close to herself, Yumi gets nervous. So Jin-wook, holding her hand, tells her, "Sit on my car." But Yumi says, "I am not just any girl who will sit on anyone's car." And saying this, she runs away from here. Now from this matter of hers, Jin-wook is very, very surprised. But then he starts smiling and says to himself, "I will see till when you will keep pretending like this." Now even after coming home, Yumi starts thinking about Jin-wook again and again. Over there, Jin-wook also starts thinking about Yumi, only again and again. Then the next morning, the assistant says to Yumi, "From today, you yourself will take the food to Jin-wook's cabin all 3 times. So Yumi asks, "Is it necessary for me to go?" So the assistant says, "Of course, if you do not want to be fired, then you will have to go." After this, we see that Yumi is going taking food for Jin-wook. But as soon as she sees Jin-wook in front of her, she becomes very, very nervous. And intentionally, Jin-wook forces Yumi, remember the memories of 3 years ago. And he says to her, "Are you seeing something in front?" So when Yumi looks in front, then she sees a picture of a restaurant's washroom. So she remembers the memory of her past washroom where Jin-wook had rescued her. But she pretends as if she does not know anything. Anyway, then later Jin-wook comes in front of Yumi in that same car which these two had used 3 years ago. Then, later when Yumi goes taking food for Jin-wook, then Jin-wook, showing her a beer bottle, tries to make her remember old memories. Now seeing this, Yumi is not able to say anything and runs away from here. Now later his assistant says to Jin-wook, "Nowadays you are looking quite a bit fresh." So on this matter, Jin-wook says, "There is nothing like that." After this, Hae-ri, calling Jin-wook, says, "Why do we not both do dinner together today?" So Jin-wook, refusing her, turns off the phone. Now later Jin-wook tells Yumi, "Make an extra meal for me." So on this, Yumi has to say yes, even without wanting to. Now then Jin-wook, giving some money to Yumi, says, "3 years ago from today, the money that I took from you to put fuel in the car, I am returning that with interest." So Yumi says, "I do not know what you are saying." Then Jin-wook says, "That day you had gone taking my coat, return that too." So Yumi says, "I have thrown away that coat since long ago." So Jin-wook says, "I do not have trust on you. I do not think that you have really thrown it away." Now later Yumi says to her friend, "Will you exchange your job with me?" Now the assistant hears this matter. Then Jin-wook also scolds Yumi a lot on the matter of leaving the job. Then Yumi says, "You also make me do very much work." And then she starts leaving from here. Then Jin-wook says, "Before leaving, tell one thing and go. Why did you go leaving me 3 years ago?" So on this, Yumi lies, "Actually, that was a one-night stand for me. That is why I went leaving you." Now hearing this, Jin-wook is left surprised. But later Yumi thinks, "Now surely Jin-wook will fire me from the job." But the next day, nothing like this happens. On the contrary, Jin-wook praises Yumi's food. Later, Hae-ri comes into Jin-wook's cabin, whom Jin-wook tells, "Leave from here." But Hae-ri does not go. And just then, Yumi comes here. And seeing both of them together, she is left surprised. But then, she leaves, keeping the food on the table. After this, she returns to her house where she sees, "My mom has come to live here with her son." So seeing all this, Yumi gets very angry because her mom has come to live with her, leaving her husband's house. Anyway then, the next morning Yumi is cooking for Jin-wook. Just then, we see that Hae-ri has come taking quite a lot of things for Jin-wook. Then she says to Yumi, "From today you will make only that for Jin-wook which I will tell you to make. And before serving the food, do not forget to send me a photo of that food. And very soon, Jin-wook's and my marriage is going to happen." Now hearing this, Yumi gets surprised. And Jin-wook also hears these things. Then Jin-wook says to Hae-ri, "You are going to become my wife." "Who said this to you?" Then taking Yumi close to himself, he says, "I will eat only that food, which Yumi will make for me." and no one except me can give her the order for my food. After this, Jin-wook, holding Yumi's hand, brings her outside with himself. Then he says to Yumi, "You quickly get ready. We are going to go outside." Then both of these come into a restaurant. Jin-wook says, "I like this restaurant's food very much. You also taste this, and from next time, make such food only for me." So Yumi, tasting that food, says, "The food here is really very good." Then she asks Jin-wook, "Is Haeri your girlfriend?" So Jin-wook says, "If a boy is with a girl, then this does not mean that both of them are girlfriend-boyfriend." Then calling Yumi near him, he says, "You forget about that night, because that was just a one-night stand." Now hearing this, Yumi starts getting hiccups again. Anyway, then later when both of these are going to leave the restaurant, then Yumi is about to collide with the door. So on this, Jin-wook quickly catches Yumi, and just then, as soon as Jin-wook comes close, Yumi starts getting hiccups again. Then later, Jin-wook is in his house, where he thinks about a person who was thinking about bringing some other dietitian in place of Yumi. Actually, when Jin-wook had gone to the washroom in the office, then he had heard someone talking on the phone and saying, Yumi should be removed from the dietitian's place. So right now, sitting in his house, Jin-wook says to himself, "I will not let anything like this happen at all." After this, the scene of 3 years ago is shown, where Jin-wook had found some of Yumi's belongings from his car. And in the current time, looking at that same thing, Jin-wook says to himself, "I do not know why I've kept this safely till today." Next day, we see the office scene, where Jin-wook has gone to eat lunch in the cafeteria with all his employees. And as soon as he tastes the food, he becomes very, very happy because Yumi has made exactly the same kind of food as Jin-wook had told her, "Make this." Anyway, then later we see Yumi with her friend Jong-hyun. Both of them are talking. Just then, a girl coming asks Jong-hyun, "Give me your number." So on this, Jong-hyun quickly going near Yumi stands and then says to that girl, "This is my girlfriend, and you are spoiling our date." Now after this, Yumi starts getting very angry at Jong-hyun because he has lied. Anyway, then later Jin-wook calls Yumi, but then hearing Yumi's brother's voice from the other end, he becomes surprised. Just then, Yumi comes there and quickly takes the phone from her brother. Now Jin-wook says to Yumi, "Today I have not eaten food, so you will come to my house and make food for me." So hearing this, Jin-wook's assistant starts looking at him because just a little while ago, Jin-wook has eaten his fill. After this, we see Yumi, who has reached Jin-wook's house with her brother. And then, when she is making food, then the sound of something falling comes. And hearing this, she quickly goes to her brother. Then she sees, "My brother has dropped a jewelry box of Jin-wook." And as soon as she picks up that box, then she sees the box has broken from one side, so Yumi starts fixing it. After this, she thinks about opening it, but then she does not do so because she thinks Jin-wook has taken that box for Haeri. So keeping that box right there, taking her brother from there, she leaves. Then when Jin-wook comes home, he is not able to see Yumi there. And because of this reason, he becomes sad, because today he was going to do dinner with Yumi. Then when Jin-wook starts going into his room, then he gets a bag, in which is that same coat which Yumi had run away taking. So seeing his coat, Jin-wook becomes very, very happy. Then when the next day Yumi comes into Jin-wook's cabin taking food, then Jin-wook says, "Am I some small child that you decorate my food so much? From today, there should not be all this in my food." On the other side, we see Haeri, who making food with her hands for Jin-wook's dad, brings it. And she tries to make him happy so that somehow he gets Haeri's marriage done with Jin-wook. And Jin-wook's dad also likes Haeri quite a lot. After this, we see Jin-wook, who is in his house, and he sees his jewelry box. And seeing it, Jin-wook finds out someone has laid hands on this. So Jin-wook gets very troubled because he thinks Yumi must have opened this box and seen what is in this. Next day, we see Jin-wook in the meeting, but he's still thinking about that box, starts getting very, very troubled. Seeing these antics of his, the rest of the employees start looking at him with very much surprise. Then, after thinking about this for a little while, Jin-wook takes the decision to meet Yumi. But just then, Jin-wook finds Yumi's toy from his room. So seeing this, Jin-wook gets sure Yumi had come into my room. And then calling, he summons Yumi. So on this, Yumi says, "I will not be able to come right now." So Jin-wook says, "Okay, if you cannot come, then I will come." After this, Jin-wook showing the toy to Yumi says, "Is this yours?" But Yumi pretends as if she does not know about this. Along with it, she does not even tell Jin-wook, "I have a brother." So Jin-wook asks her again, "Did you go into my room?" So Yumi, saying sorry to him, gives another box because she thinks a diamond necklace for Haeri is kept in that box. So Jin-wook asks, "Did you open this box and see what is in this?" So Yumi says, "I can guess its size idea just by looking at it from outside, but I think you should take an even bigger size product because the bigger it is, the better it will be." So hearing this, Jin Wook gets very upset. Actually, a misunderstanding has happened between both of them. And this misunderstanding is related to Hae Ri because Yao Mai is thinking Jin Wook has taken this diamond necklace for Hae Ri. And about that diamond necklace, only Yumi has been talking to Jin Wook until now. But Jin Wook is not able to understand this matter, clearly. And during this, Jung Hyun comes here, so seeing him, Jin Wook asks, "Who is this?" So Jung Hyun, bringing Yumi near himself, says, "I am her boyfriend." And here we are, shown a flashback scene where Jin Wook is praising Yumi's food. He is very, very happy with Yumi's food because Yumi has brought making the food very well. Then Jin Wook clicks very many photos of that food. After this, we see Jin Wook in the current scene, who is going back to his house, and then in his mind, he says, what does that girl consider herself after all? He thinks like this because just now, Jung Hyun has called Yumi my girlfriend. Over there, Jung Hyun says to Yumi, if next time your boss disturbs you, then you tell him he is my boyfriend. After this, we see Jin Wook, who is still getting troubled thinking about Yumi. Next day, Yumi comes into Jin Wook's cabin, and then Jin Wook pretends as if he is not noticing Yumi at all. But then, in a little while, he, giving Yumi her toy, says, please take this away from here. So on this matter, Yumi, giving the new jewelry box to Jin Wook, says, you will have to take this. So Jin Wook says to Yumi, you take this away from here and never talk to me about this. Then when Yumi starts taking that toy, then Jin Wook asks her, the boy who was with you last night, is he your boyfriend? So on this matter, Yumi does not want to say anything to him. And she says, why should I tell you about my personal life? Jin Wook says, okay, if you do not have to tell, then do not tell. But that boy looks crazy to me. Hearing this, Yumi praises Jung Hyun and badmouths Jin Wook, and then she leaves from here. And after Yumi's leaving, Jin Wook says to himself, was she talking about me? And thinking this only, Jin Wook gets very angry. Then seeing the food made by Yumi, he says, how many times have I told her, do not make this kind of food for me? But her food is getting cute day by day. And again, he starts taking photos of Yumi's food. Then the next day, Jin Wook's assistant gives a book to Jin Wook, seeing which Jin Wook finds out this book is Jung Hyun's. Jin Wook, looking at this book, says, oh, okay, so he is a writer. Saying this, he starts leaving from here. So the assistant says, will you return my book to me? So Jin Wook leaves, throwing that book right here. And from this matter, it is found out Jin Wook has become quite jealous. Later, when Yumi comes taking food for Jin Wook, then Jin Wook tells her, leave from here. And right after she leaves, Jin Wook, taking out food digesting medicine from his pocket, drinks it. Later, we see Yumi, who says to her friend, today Jin Wook has made me do very much work, because of which I have become tired. So, will you pick me up today? Now, Jin Wook also hears these things, and he again tells Yumi, make food for me. Then, while eating, one time he going close to Yumi says, I have to check something. From this, Yumi starts getting hiccups. So, Jin Wook smiles, and he remembers, when I come close to Yumi like this, then she starts getting hiccups. Then, holding Yumi's hand, he says, these hiccups of yours are only because of me, because you get hiccups only then, when you are around me or close to me. And he says to her, do you feel nervous because of me? So Yumi, pushing Jin Wook away from herself, says, I get hiccups only because I have a physical problem. Because when I am with you, then I do not feel nervous but uncomfortable. And saying this, she leaves from here. And on this matter, Jin Wook gets very, very upset. Anyway, then after this, Jung Hyun is playing with Yumi's brother. Just then, a lady coming to him asks, who is this? Now Jung Hyun, to escape from that lady, says, he is my son. And hearing this, that girl quickly leaves from here. On the other side, we see Jin Wook, who is getting very, very angry, remembering Yumi's words. Over there, Yumi is talking to Jung Hyun, and while talking, she falls asleep right on Jung Hyun's shoulder. Next day, we see Yumi, where she is going to the office. Jin Wook also sees her, but ignoring Yumi, he stands near the lift. But as soon as Jin Wook finds out Yumi is talking to Jung Hyun, then he tries to listen to the talks of both of them. After this, he says to his assistant, you go to Yumi and give her my message. Then the assistant going to Yumi says, you have to make food for 10 people. So on this, Yumi, being surprised, says, why only me? Anyone else can also do this work. So the assistant says, not me. Mr. Jin Wook wants this. Then we see Hae Ri, who comes to Jin Wook. Just then, a lady asks both of them, what is your relation? So on this, Hae Ri is just about to say something, when just then Jin Wook says, we both are siblings, and she is like my little sister. And on this matter, Hae Ri keeps looking at Jin Wook. Later, when Yumi reaches a place making food for everyone, then she sees Hae Ri has already kept ordering food from the restaurant for everyone. So all the employees, ignoring Yumi's food, eat the food ordered from the hotel. Seeing all this, Yumi becomes very upset. And because of all this, Jin Wook scolds Hae Ri. Then he goes to placate Yumi, But Yumi does not listen to any word of his and says, I know that you are doing all this for that jewelry box. Later, Yumi is sitting with her colleagues when just then she gets a call from the assistant. And this assistant of Jin-wook tells her, come to the hospital, because Jin-wook's health is very, very bad. So Yumi reaches the hospital where she finds out Jin-wook's health has gone bad because of this reason, because he has eaten all the food made by Yumi. Now then, after a little while, Jin-wook, seeing Yumi, says, it seems you do not have to go to meet your boyfriend today. On this, Yumi says, he is not my boyfriend. He is my best friend. Now hearing this matter, Jin-wook becomes very, very happy. Then Jin-wook tells Yumi, Yeri is not my girlfriend. That jewelry box is also not for her because my heroine is someone else. And seeing both of them talking, Jin-wook's assistant also becomes very happy. Then when Yumi is putting a blanket over Jin-wook, then Jin-wook catches her hand. And then till late night, Yumi keeps sitting right near Jin-wook. Next day when Yumi goes to the office, then her supervisor says to her, have you found any boyfriend? Because today you are very, very happy. And Yumi says, there is no such thing. On the other side, we see Jin-wook and his assistant. His assistant says, yesterday till late night, Yumi was right near you. So Jin-wook pretends as if it does not make any difference to him. After this, when Jin-wook is in the office, then he feels as if Yumi had kissed him last night, but he is not completely sure. Then when Yumi comes taking food for Jin-wook, then Jin-wook tells Yumi, sit near me, and says, now you will have to take my responsibility. So Yumi, being surprised, says, responsibility for what thing? So Jin-wook, coming near Yumi, says, the responsibility of my health going bad. Because my health went bad for this reason only, because I had eaten the food of your hands. And because of this reason, my work has also been affected very much. So as a personal dietitian, you will have to take my responsibility. So Yumi says, but how can I take your responsibility? So Jin-wook says, you will have to eat food with me 10 times. And I'm saying all this for this reason because I do not have trust on your hands' food at all. So hearing all this, Yumi becomes very much troubled. But Jin-wook is smiling looking at her. After this, Jin-wook takes Yumi with him to eat food, and on the way, repeatedly bothers her intentionally. Then Yumi says, you will have to eat food in that restaurant only where I will say. Then Yumi takes Jin-wook into a restaurant. Now seeing this restaurant, Jin-wook says, I cannot go into such an unhygienic restaurant. And on top of that, I cannot eat food sitting in such a restaurant because my legs are quite long, so I will have trouble sitting here. But Yumi ignores him and goes inside the restaurant. So Jin-wook also goes behind her. Then while eating food, food falls on Jin-wook's shirt. So Yumi starts cleaning that mark of food. So Jin-wook says, I think that you should not touch my chest without my permission. And in the car too, you were repeatedly trying to touch me. Do you not feel ashamed in making physical contact? Anyway, after this, both of these are going in the car. Here, Jin-wook says, my dad and mom got divorced in my childhood itself, and because of this reason, I've always been alone. Along with it, I like home-cooked food made by my mom very much. Later, we see Jong Hayeon, who comes to meet a friend of his for some work. Just then, Hye-ri is also here, who, misunderstanding Jong Hayeon as a shops worker, giving him some things, leaves. And on this matter, Jong Hayeon gets very, very surprised. On that side, Jin-wook, calling Yumi, calls her into a restaurant. Then, after a little while, Jin-wook also reaches that restaurant and makes such an entry that everyone is left looking at him. But as soon as he starts going inside the restaurant, then a waiter stops him. And giving Jin-wook a number, he tells him, wait with the rest of the people. Then Jin-wook, giving him some money, starts going inside, but that man refuses to take the money. So, seeing all this, Jin-wook starts fighting with that man. Just then, Yumi, coming here, stops him and gets very angry at him. And Jin-wook says to her, I can do anything to stay with you. Then Jin-wook, looking at Yumi, says, today you have gotten ready very nicely. So Yumi says, I get ready like this at home too. Then we are shown in a flashback, Yumi has come getting ready so nicely only to meet Jin-wook. Just then Jin-wook and Yumi's number comes, and Jin-wook, holding Yumi's hand, takes her inside the restaurant. And then both of them start eating food. Later, when both of these are going back, then Jin-wook sees that Yumi's shoelaces are open. So making her sit on the side, he ties her laces. Seeing this, Yumi says, I can do this myself too. So Jin-wook says, should I untie? So Yumi says, I did not mean like that. Then Jin-wook offers Yumi, have a drink. So Yumi, making an excuse, says, I have to feed food to my dog. And saying this, she leaves from here. Later we see Yumi with Jong Hyun. So Jong Hyun, seeing Yumi laughing, says, what happened? why are you laughing like crazy people? And then Jong Hyun finds out Yumi has to eat food with Jin Wook 10 times. And as soon as he finds this out, he starts getting angry at Jin Wook. So Yumi tells him, I like eating food with Jin Wook. So hearing this, Jong Hyun does not feel good at all. Then the next day when Yumi comes into Jin Wook's cabin taking food, then Jin Wook saying thank you to her normally tells her, leave from here. But Yumi does not leave from here and says, until you are eating food, till then I will stay right here. Because yesterday you had told me I do not like eating food alone at all. And as soon as he hears this, Jin Wook becomes very happy inside. Then he tells Yumi, come on dinner with me today. So Yumi says, tonight I am quite a lot busy because I have to take my dog on a walk. And hearing this, Jin Wook feels very much jealous. And then he says to Yumi, do you not think you love your dog a bit too much? So then Yumi says, yes, to Jin Wook for dinner. Then before dinner, Yumi asks Jin Wook, where are we going for dinner today? So Jin Wook says, at my house. Hearing this, Yumi gets shocked. Later, when both of these are at Jin Wook's house, then Jin Wook says, you are the first girl whom I have brought to my house. After this, Jin Wook tells Yumi, turn off the lights. But Yumi does not find the switch. So Jin Wook goes to turn off the lights, and along with this, he comes close to Yumi. So on this, Yumi thinks, Jin Wook is going to kiss me. So Yumi closes her eyes. But Jin Wook just turns off the lights and leaves. Then when both of these sit to eat food, then Jin Wook finds out, my dad is standing outside. Now seeing dad outside, Jin Wook and Yumi become very, very troubled. And then Jin Wook tells Yumi, hide quickly. Then quickly going into the kitchen, he starts hiding Yumi's bag from his dad. On the other side, Yumi is searching for a place to hide. But just then, she finds Jin Wook's jewelry box. Now at first, Yumi ignores this box, but later she opens it. And as soon as she sees her belongings in this box, then she becomes very, very surprised. Now here, Jin Wook's dad sees 2 plates on the table from which he starts getting a doubt. Just then, Jin Wook blows out the candle kept on the table. Just then, from Jin Wook's room, the sound of something falling comes. So Jin Wook's dad starts going into his room. So, on this matter, Jin Wook tries to stop his dad in a loud voice. Then he says, Dad, you eat food comfortably. I will come checking who is inside. But his dad has suspicion on him and he comes right behind him. Then pointing towards the washroom, he asks, what is this? So Jin Wook looks towards the washroom with fear. And now there is no Yumi there, but a cat. So Jin Wook's dad says, I thought you have hidden some girl in your house. And then, after his dad's leaving, Jin Wook also starts searching for Yumi. And after searching quite a lot, he finds Yumi in a cupboard. Next day, Jin Wook's dad, calling Jin Wook's assistant, says, I think Jin Wook is dating some girl. For this reason, you keep an eye on him. Along with it on that side, Jin Wook tells Yumi, go on a business trip with me. He says, my very important clients are going to come there, so I want you to make food for them. Here we see Hae-ri, who goes into a cafe and invites Jong Hyun, come to my show. But as soon as she sees Jong Hyun, she gets shocked because a few days ago, the boy whom she had considered a shop worker, he is no one else but Jong Hyun. Now she requests Jong Hyun, go into my show. But Jong Hyun does not give any response to her. Then we see Jin Wook, who is waiting outside Yumi's house. Just then we see Yumi, who comes wearing that same dress which she had worn 3 years ago from today. Now, seeing Yumi in this dress, Jin Wook's eyes do not move away from her at all. Then going near Yumi, praising her, he says, you are looking very good in this dress. Then Jin Wook brings Yumi into that hotel where these two had met 3 years ago. Then Yumi gets surprised and refuses to go into this hotel, but Jin Wook, holding her hand, definitely takes her into that hotel. After this, Jin Wook is with his client who likes Yumi's hands food. Now, after doing quite a lot of work, Yumi comes into her room and just then someone sends her a gift. As soon as she opens that gift, then there is a very beautiful dress in it. This gift has been sent by no one else but Jin Wook. After this, we see Jin Wook, who is waiting for Yumi's coming. Just then, we see Yumi, who comes wearing the dress given by Jin Wook. Now, seeing Yumi, Jin Wook gets very, very surprised because Yumi is looking very beautiful in that dress. Then when Yumi is going near Jin Wook, then just then a waiter drops wine on Yumi's dress. Now on the wine falling, when Yumi, being a little shocked, starts falling down, then Jin Wook quickly coming catches her. And then he says to Yumi, today you are looking very, very pretty in this dress. Now on Jin Wook coming so close, Yumi starts getting hiccups again. Jin Wook again says to Yumi, today you are looking very beautiful. Then he says, I am not talking about you, but about this dress, because this dress is quite expensive. So hearing this, Yumi starts fighting with Jin Wook. Just then that same manager comes who had bothered Jin Wook quite a lot 3 years ago from today. Now the manager says, sorry, to Yumi, because their waiter had dropped wine on Yumi. So on this, Jin-wook says, it's okay. So the manager says, why are you saying it's okay? Because I am saying sorry not to you, but to Yumi, and you should say sorry to Yumi with us because you are the president of this hotel. Hearing this, Yumi, also to disturb Jin-wook, tells him, say sorry. Then that manager, saying sorry to Yumi, gives her a wine bottle and leaves from here. Then Jin-wook and Yumi enjoy quite a lot together. On the other side, Hae-ri is drinking with Jung-hyun. Currently, the condition of both of these is same because the lovers of both of these have gone on a date together. Next morning, Jin-wook, messaging Yumi, tells her, meet at the poolside. So Yumi, coming to Jin-wook, asks, why have you called me here? Jin-wook says, I freeze up. For this reason, you take care of me. Then, when to do swimming, Jin-wook takes off his clothes. Then, Yumi closes her eyes. Jin-wook says, stop your acting. This is not the first time you are seeing me without clothes. After doing swimming, Jin-wook says to Yumi, take me outside. So as soon as Yumi puts her hand forward, then Jin-wook falls into the water, taking her too. So Yumi starts getting angry at Jin-wook and then starts leaving from here. Just then, Yumi notices that Jin-wook has not come outside the water yet. So seeing this, Yumi jumps into the water. Then she takes Jin-wook outside the water, and in a little while, some workers also come there. Then we find out Jin-wook is acting only to bother Yumi. And then Jin-wook tells those workers in their ears, leave from here. And after the leaving of these workers, Yumi starts lifting Jin-wook. And in the middle of this, she accepts, I also like you. And along with it, she also says, I have seen my belongings in your jewelry box too. As soon as he hears this, Jin-wook quickly gets up. Then Jin-wook asks, have you really seen? After this, both of them sit at the poolside for quite some time and start talking, and then both start kissing each other. Next day, when Jin-wook asks Yumi, have dinner with me, then Yumi refuses and says, today is my dog's birthday. For this reason, I cannot come. Hearing this, Jin-wook gets quite surprised and says to his assistant, is her dog even more important than me for her? Then later we see Yumi with her brother, where everyone together is celebrating Yumi's brother's birthday. Just then, Jin-wook comes there, and seeing him there, Yumi gets very, very surprised. Just then, seeing dog food in Jin-wook's hand, Yumi's mom asks, for whom have you brought this? So Jin-wook asks, whose child is this? So Yumi's mom says, he is my son. Just then, Yumi tries to make her quiet and tells her, leave from here. Then later we see Jin-wook and Jung-hyun face to face here. And seeing both of them, it feels as if they have not come into someone's birthday party, but in a world war. Now, Yumi tries to calm both of them down, but both of them are ready to fight. And then both of these drink quite a lot. Then we see the next morning's scene, where Jin-wook is sleeping at Yumi's house. Just then, Yumi's brother coming bothers him very much. Then, after Jin-wook's waking up, Yumi's mom says to him, today I have to go somewhere. So, will you take care of Yumi's brother for some time? Then Yumi's mom says, if you want to impress my daughter, then you will have to take care of him nicely. Saying this, she leaves from here. Then Jin-wook takes Yumi's brother into the playground. And seeing such a handsome dad, all the ladies present there start looking at him. And then Jin-wook starts enjoying very much with all the children there. Just then, Jin-wook's dad is passing from here in his car, and then he sees Jin-wook with Yumi's brother. And seeing this, he gets very surprised. After this, when Jin-wook is going from here, taking Yumi's brother, then the ladies there, seeing this, say, his son will also be very, very handsome like his dad. Then Jin-wook brings Yumi's brother home and takes care of him quite nicely. Just then, Yumi also comes here. So Jin-wook asks Yumi, whose son is this? So Yumi, lying to him, says, my mom cares for him quite a lot, and we three live together. Later we see Jin-wook's dad, who, showing Jin-wook the 3-year-old picture of Jin-wook and Yumi, says, is that child of you both? So Jin-wook, getting very, very surprised, thinks, is that child of Yumi? And after thinking quite a lot, he starts feeling that child is Yumi's only. After this, Jin-wook tells Yumi, meet me. Now when Yumi meets with Jin-wook, then Hae-ri sees both of them and starts following them. Now seeing Hae-ri following both of them, Jung-hyun also goes behind her. Now Jin-wook says to Yumi, whatever has happened with you in the past 3 years, I want to know all that. Actually, he wants to know, is that child really my son or not? And then from quite a lot of talks, Jin-wook gets sure he is my and Yumi's son only. And Hae-ri also hears all these talks. So when she starts going near both of them, then Jong Hyun stops her. And then he says to Hae-ri, I am ready to come into your show, ya, but you will have to promise me you will not come between the relationship of both of them. Anyway, then later Yumi is making food for Jin-wook. Just then, Yumi gets Jin-wook's message, where Jin-wook has written, tomorrow I want to go on a date with you, and please, tomorrow bring your brother, taking him along with you too. On this, Yumi, becoming upset, says, is he going on a date with me? Or with my brother? After this, the next day we see Yumi, Jin-wook, and Yumi's brother together. And Jin-wook is enjoying with Yumi's brother more than Yumi. Later, Jin-wook gives a gift in Yumi's hand. So Yumi says, there was no need for this. So Jin-wook says, this is not for you, but for your brother. After this, we see the next day's scene, where Yumi is going somewhere outside. Just then, she meets Hae-ri on the way. So Yumi tries to talk to her, but Hae-ri talks to her very rudely, because due to Yumi, Jin-wook has gone away from Hae-ri. Now, from Hae-ri's words, Yumi gets very much hurt. Over there, Jin-wook's dad comes to see his grandson, and seeing him, he becomes very, very happy. And to do a DNA test, he takes a hair from that child's head. Just then, Yumi's mom comes here, and seeing Jin-wook's dad here, she starts getting angry. Just then, Yumi comes here, and in a little while, Jin-wook also comes. Jin-wook wants to take his dad from here, but his dad refuses. And Jin-wook's dad says, I will definitely go taking my grandson from here. So Yumi's mom says, he is not your grandson, but my son. Then Jin-wook brings Yumi outside, where Yumi says to him, he is my half-brother. And by the way, have we spent so much time together for this reason? Because you think he is my son? So Jin-wook tries to explain to her, there is nothing like that. But Yumi does not listen to even a single word of his and leaves from here. Later we see Jin-wook with his dad. His dad says, to date an ordinary girl, you left Hae-ri, and I am going to do something such after which you will never be able to see her. So Jin-wook says, do not think about doing anything wrong with Yumi. I will not let you do anything such with Yumi, which you did with mom. After this, when Jin-wook is in his cabin, then another dietitian comes taking food for him. So Jin-wook thinks, is Yumi so angry with me she does not even want to see my face? On the other side, we see Hae-ri, who starts crying during a show because she is missing Jin-wook very much. And then she says, Jin-wook has broken my heart. This news spreads and everyone blaming Yumi says, for a dietitian, Jin-wook has left Hae-ri. Now taking such comments, Yumi becomes very troubled because everyone has found out about her and Jin-wook. Just then, Jong Hyun comes here, and to fix Yumi's mood, he takes her with him to play games. After this, we see Hae-ri, who is taking Jong Hyun's interview. After the interview ends, Hae-ri is looking at Jong Hyun again and again. Later, we see Jin-wook and Yumi. Yumi says to Jin-wook, whatever you have done for me till now, thank you for that. Yumi says, I have decided I will go somewhere far away from here, and going away from here only is better for both of us. As soon as he hears this, Jin-wook hugs Yumi and repeatedly tells her, stop. And he says, I know all this is very hard for you, but I do not want you to go leaving me. But Yumi saying, sorry, to him, leaves. Then both of these start crying very much. Over there, Yumi's colleagues become upset from Yumi's leaving. One colleague says, why do we all not party tonight? So at night in the party, everyone enjoys very much. Here we see Jin-wook, who is missing Yumi very, very much. Just then, Jin-wook's assistant says to Jin-wook, Yumi has gone leaving this job. So Jin-wook does not say anything to the assistant and tells him, leave from here. Later, Yumi joins a university, and after her university's job shift ends, Jong Hyun, coming to her, confesses this. I like you. On this, Yumi hugs him. Later, a TV show is running in Yumi's university. Here, an interview of her mom is shown, where Yumi's mom says, earlier Yumi was dating Jin-wook, but now she dates Jong Hyun. Now, hearing all this, everyone feels, because of Yumi, Jin-wook has left Hae-ri. So everyone starts bullying her. And Jin-wook also finds out people are blaming Yumi after seeing that show. So he also starts searching for Yumi. Then Yumi is at a sea beach, where Jin-wook also comes. Then Jin-wook says, how much I have searched for you, so Yumi hugs him. Then Yumi says, I am very happy I dated a rich CEO like you. All this is a dream for me. Then Jin-wook kisses Yumi. Then both of these, after spending some time together, fall asleep. Then after a little while, Yumi, kissing Jin-wook, leaves from here. Later, Jin-wook becomes very sad because he knows Yumi has gone leaving me. Then Jin-wook, going to his mom's restaurant, eats her hand's food. Then his mom says to him, bring Yumi back. On the other side, Yumi's mom goes into another TV show. And here she says, Yumi, you have not made any mistake. If you like Jin-wook, then you should go to him. Actually, Yumi's mom had found out what I had said about Yumi in the previous TV show, From that, Yumi has become upset and people have started blaming her. So now supporting Yumi in this TV show, she talks on her side. Now Yumi, becoming emotional, calls Jin-wook and tells him, "Meet me." After this, both of these meet and kiss each other. On that side, Yeri asks Jung-hyun, "Will you go on a date with me?" And Jung-hyun also says, "Yes." After this, a wedding ceremony of Yumi's mom happens, where she is going to marry again with her son's dad. Actually, a patch-up has happened between both of them again. So everyone is seen very happy. And along with it, Jin-wook promises Yumi, "From today, I will eat only that food which you will make." And with this, the happy ending of this drama happens.